Hey guys, Desler Magic here, and check it out. We've got 1.5 cards spoiled from Rivals of Ixalan already, and I know what you're thinking. Who leaked them? Who took a cell phone shot? Who stole something from the printing facility? Who accidentally uploaded something to a foreign website? A foreign Wizards of the Coast website, that's been the norm so far. Get ready to be utterly shocked. It was Wizards themselves, but on purpose. I suppose I had to add that second part because otherwise you guys would be like, well, yeah. So get this, you can even get the cards early. So they showed what the promos are, or giveaways, prizes, whatever you want to call it, for Store Championship, formerly known as Game Day. I guarantee I'm going to keep accidentally calling it Game Day because, well, honestly, that's what everybody knows. So check this out. First half of a card is the artwork half. We don't know the name, the cost, or the abilities, or anything about it, but we do know that apparently Orazka has a Sphinx, I guess. I mean, I think with what he's wearing and stuff, you can kind of extrapolate that. So I don't know what this card is. I don't know what it does. I just know it's a Sphinx, and I want it because it looks awesome, and I love giant, powerful blue cards. Now, it could be mixed color. I don't know. But he has a blue beard, so that usually indicates blue mana. They usually do something like that, honestly. So what actually are these? Well, the top 8 players at Game Day, I guess. I already honestly forgot what they renamed it to. But yes, the top 8 finishers at Game Day will get this cool deck box. Oh boy, and their single ply paper deck boxes are just so nice of quality, but still, they're rare, cool artwork. It's a little exclusive hint at what's coming, I guess. It's cool, I like it. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's free. Oh, and by the way, as far as prizes go, you know that map from my other video? They put it on a playmat, so every store is getting, I guess, at least one of these. And of course, that goes to the top player, whoever actually wins Game Day. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it looks really, really cool. Fun fact, I can't get anywhere near brand new playmats because if I get the material that they're made out of anywhere near my mouth, I'll die. So usually if I'm doing well, so in other words, usually, I'll start wheeling and dealing and saying, hey, if you lose, you can have the playmat because I'm kind of allergic. It's basically like a latex allergy, but for grippy silicone and certain rubber compounds. Oh, and I can't afford an EpiPen. Yay, Murica. Anyway, the moment you've all been waiting for, the reveal of the actual card. Because like I said, it's 1.5 cards. Well, the half card is the Sphinx. We've got Ghalta, Primal Hunger. This is the participation card, so you will get one if you show up. Within reason. I think there's, I don't know, maybe 32 of those that go out, maybe 24. So let's take a look at this monstrosity because people, well, are already complaining and they're somewhat justified in that. It's a 12 cost, very playable, but it doesn't really cost 12. It costs X generic less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control at the time that this spell goes on the stack, exactly prior to when you attempt to pay for it. Also, it's a 12/12 with trample, so it's a 12/12 for 12 with trample. Pretty typical green creature, I guess. I mean, a 6/6 trampler for 6 is somewhat typical. At least in the rare slot, that actually, you know, the trample is really excessive. But, well, this swings like once and you win, so they might as well have made it a 50/12. I mean, whatever. So, I'm thinking for sure you could get this out on turn 5 and then win on turn 6. So that's like annoying, but not too broken. The fact that you can cast him for nearly free is kind of nuts. I mean, if you look at Metalwork Colossus, I don't think I've ever paid mana for this, ever. I mean, I've built decks with him, and with just like vehicles and stuff, he comes out for free. And remember, power is easier to come by in high numbers than mana cost in Magic. That is just universally true. So the nice thing is it is legendary, so they can't just plop out like 3 of these. Because, I mean, honestly, with like Commune the Dinosaur and the Dino Fetch cards, you could probably get multiple of these in your hand. Now, nothing's stopping them from immediately replacing it if you do destroy the first one, so there's that. But, yeah, this card really is unfair because I would think that you'd pay an average of 4 to 6 mana for it. And a 12/12 Trampler, I mean, if it was a 12/12 non-Trampler, okay, like you could just chump that with a 1/1 and kind of stall and maybe do something about it. But the fact that under normal gameplay conditions, you could get out a 12/12 for 2 green mana, that's just, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just so broken and so stupid. But is it like game-ending devastatingly bad? Not really, because it doesn't have hexproof, it doesn't say it can't be countered. I mean, just one anything and this is gone. You know, pin it down. Keep tapping it over and over and over. I'd say bounce it back to hand, but that's not terribly permanent. Counter it with Essence Scatter on the summon or any kind of, you know, cancel or whatever. Make them sacrifice it, turn it into something else. Exile it, destroy it. Like, anything will get rid of this. So, you know, I hate putting people in a box saying, okay, well, you have to run enchantment removal or you lose. So just do that. Oh, you have to run artifact destruction or you lose. So just put that in your deck. I don't just have room in my deck for just anything, okay? But if you were to box somebody in and give them a binary condition where it's like, if you can't stop this one single card, you lose, at least it's a creature. Because creature removal, like, everybody can do that in every color. Although there is no way red could get rid of this, and honestly blue would kind of have trouble too unless it's a pin down. But white, black, and whatever color I didn't say yet could easily take this out. But I mean, this can't be stopped by anything. I mean, a 1/1 Death Toucher, you're still taking 11 damage. I mean, it's gone, but great. And then there's Heroic Intervention in green on color with this card. So it's a little rough. I think they went a little overboard, but this is so much more fair than Reality Smasher. That card was a disgrace. But I'd say this is on par with Verdurous Gear Hulk, which that card was just out of control, too powerful. It was just completely unfair for its cost and what it could do, basically. Now, people kept saying, oh, everybody who said that card was broken and overpowered was wrong because it cost X dollars and because it never went into a top Pro Tour deck, which neither of those were terribly true, but at one point they were. Okay, card cost and how many people are playing it at the Pro Tour has nothing to do with, is the card by itself, solo, in a vacuum, overpowered, broken, and unfair. And you could say yes about, like, Night Howler. That one never really took off price-wise, but you had to basically kill it twice, and it was just hyper crazy powerful. Will Breaker, that never really took off, but that card was just game-ending. I mean, it was overpowered in card form. But just because nobody threw it in a deck doesn't mean that the assessment is wrong. So people, you know, pro players, me, other channels, people writing for like Channel Fireball, when they all say this card is really pushing the power limit, oh my gosh, it doesn't mean they're wrong if it doesn't hit $15. There's a lot more to it than that. In fact, if you want to think of it in the simplest terms, you need a good card and then you need a good deck to put it in. If you don't have both, it's not going to hit $15 and people are going to say it's not good. That is not how you measure card power. That's all I'm going to say about it. So does this card push the power limit too far? Yeah, absolutely. I think it should have been maybe an 8/8 for 12 so that like the first 4 reduction points are basically mandatory to make it even reasonable. I think making it a 12/12 with trample was ridiculous. They could have made it a 12/5 with trample or made it a 5/12 with trample. That would have been stupid. They should have done something. The way it sits, it is just too powerful. So it makes me think that Rivals of Ixalan, now that we've seen a grand total of 1 card from it, is going to be pushing the power limit just like Aether Revolt. And remember, Aether Revolt, specifically Energy, but really, honestly, just some of the individual cards in it, completely broke Standard. It still broke Standard. Aether Revolt ruined Standard for over a year. Even post-rotation, it, like, got worse, because now it's the only thing that's overpowered. So I kind of hope that doesn't happen, but I also kind of hope it sells well, but after I get done selling my cards, I have to go play the game every Friday. So I guess no matter what happens, I'll be kind of happy and sad, but I don't know. Hopefully it's well balanced and this is the only broken card we see from it. And honestly, broken isn't really what I would call it because that's more like a combo thing. I'd say an extreme annoyance to play around and to worry about. That's how I would describe it. So let me know what you think about it down in the comments, and I will see you guys at game day. Probably not literally.